All right, we are live.
Welcome everyone to Revenue Subcommittee for March 11th. I actually think this meeting should not take very long, so you'll all be able to get some lunch in before election law, if you're on election law. So we'll just move through the bills relatively quickly. We'll start with HB 337. This is delegate bill on the a vendor collection credit for job training. This is focused in particular on job training for people who need additional assistance in training for positions of work. And George, the amendment simply reduced the fiscal note below the fiscal note limit, right?
That's correct. It would reduce the maximum amount that could be remitted under the vendor credit from $250,000 to $100,000.
Right. The Senate has already moved their version of this, I think, at $250,000. So we're just bringing this down to the fiscal note limit we've received from appropriations.
Okay, Lukey, you're going in and out.
Am I?
Yeah,
Yes.
we couldn't hear that last sentence.
So the Senate has already moved at $250,000, but we, at the request of the sponsor who's on the Appropriations Committee, where the amendments would drop the cap on the program to $100,000, which is the fiscal note limit in most cases out of appropriations. So, any questions or comments or motion on the amendment?
Favorable.
Second.
All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Sorry, by raising your hand. Hand raising. Sorry, I got to remember that. Jessica, are you somewhere fun?
I'm just walking to the office. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's a beautiful day though, so it's fun.
It is gorgeous. A couple days ago, I went and got my lunch and sat down by the city dock and looked at the water, and it was worth it. It's beautiful out.
Yep.
All right, on the bill as amended, is there a motion?
Move favorable.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hands. Any opposed? Motion is favorable on that bill. HB 752 is simply a 2-year extension of the food donation pilot program income tax credit, which is a capped credit already that fits within our fiscal note limits. George, I didn't see any amendments. Do we have any amendments on that?
No, no amendment.
Any questions or discussion on the bill? Is there a motion on the bill?
Favorable.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by raising your hands. All those opposed? All right. HB 805 is Delegate Polakovich-Carr's bill having to do with the enterprise zone program. And Delegate Polakovich-Carr reached out to me earlier this week to say that she thought this would be a good subject for an informal summer study so that conversations can happen between the different folks who.
You're fading again.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What is going
Your
on?
last sentence is fading.
Okay. Maybe it's just I'm not talking loud enough. I'll talk louder. So, Delegate Polakovich-Carr, do you want to explain your thinking on the summer study?
Certainly. Yeah, I mean, I think there's an opportunity here to actually get all the stakeholders at the table. Mako had reached out to me. I had a good conversation with Commerce this week as well. And I think there actually might be a path forward. But, it's hard to do that in the midst of session. So I had requested that this bill instead be a summer study.
So I reached out to the chair and she said she's fine with an informal summer study. So we're not going to actually need to take any action on the bill. I've asked Delegate Polakovich-Carr to lead that effort over the summer. And we've reached out to the Senate as well to see if they have any members from B&T who might be interested in participating. I haven't heard back yet, but they're a little busy. So we'll get a response from them. So any thoughts or comments on that before we move on?
Seems like a reasonable idea.
I don't think you've ever said those words in subcommittee before, Delegate Buckle. That's great.
Especially not about one of my bills.
She has many reasonable ideas and a few unreasonable ones, but many reasonable ones.
Delegate Buckle's joining the revolution here. All right. So HB 1017, I need to hold as well. The Senate is making some changes to their version of the bill. Just to fill everyone in, we had passed a bill of mine out of the House that's affected the same credit, the venison donation tax credit. one of the things we did was to sort of try to transition it over from a tax credit to a grant program through the Department of Natural Resources. It looks like, so the Senate has a bill that's a cross-file to this bill, and it looks like they're going to amend their bill to look like what we sent over, except the piece that, and to follow up with Delegate Beitzel about this, the piece that they want to keep that wasn't in the bill we sent over is a study of chronic wasting disease and the potential for it to enter the food stream, which, you know, the ENT committee is fine doing. So I'm going to hold it just because we're going to need to talk amongst various people and figure out exactly what to do with it. So our last bill for today is HB 1279, which is the bill altering the RISE zone program. And George, can you explain the amendments we have on it?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There are several amendments related to the bill. The first would alter the conditions under which a business entity located in a RISE zone would be eligible for rental assistance under the program. It would specify that the business entity would need to have a nexus with the qualified institution that's located in the RISE zone, as well as prohibit the business from receiving rental assistance for more than 3 years. In addition, it would require a rental assistance program that receives funds under the RISE zone program to submit an annual report to the Department of Commerce, and would prohibit Commerce from distributing funds to a rental assistance program that has failed to submit that report. And lastly, it would require a rental assistance program that receives funds under the RISE zone program to be subject to an audit at least once every 3 years, and would authorize Commerce, based on the findings of the audit, to recapture either misused funds or funds that have not been dispersed during that period of time.
These were amendments that were produced from conversations with Commerce, essentially, you know, intended to be clarifying and focused on accountability. So, are there questions, discussion of those amendments? Rhonda, do you have anything to add?
I don't have anything to add. I've got Lonnie and Jen on the call who specifically worked on this with your members and with George. So if they want to chime in, but I think it captures everything.
Lonnie, Jen, do you have anything?
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay. Delegate Feldmark, you have a question? I saw your hand for a second.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So I just have a question about the sunset and how that interacts with the 3-year limit. So if does the sunset impact new businesses, and then if they're in by the sunset, they could continue for the 3 years, or would it cut anyone off in the middle of that 3-year period?
Which sunset are you? So there's 2 types of sunsets in the bill. We're sunsetting some provisions of the original RISE Act that we're essentially eliminating,
Okay,
which I don't think would be affected by this 3-year limit at all. And then,
right.
but
So I think it was 2028.
Right. So you're asking what happens
So-
if a business comes in 2027?
Right. Do they get the rest of the 3 years, or is that a hard stop for the program?
I think at that point, the legislature, if we're still here, but the legislature in general would have to make a decision about whether to extend it or not.
Okay.
I mean, under these amendments, at least, we can always change that if you have thoughts about that.
I would also just generally note that with respect to participation in the rental assistance program, you need to have not been in business any longer than 7 years. And that would effectively be like a dual eligibility criteria, as far as you can't receive it any longer than 3 years, but you also still need to have been in business no longer than 7. So if you're at your 6th year, you could get 1 year of assistance under the program, not continue to receive the additional 2 years.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? All right, I'm going to move the amendments.
Second.
All Any discussion on the amendments? All those in favor say aye. Or sorry.
Aye.
I'm failing you as a subcommittee chair. I keep forgetting that. All in favor, raise your hand.
Bob has a question hand up.
You have a question hand up?
Now,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
On the bill as amended, is there a motion?
Favorable.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Raise our hands.
Raise your hands. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm too tired. I got to tell you, like we went so late last night. I'm usually in bed by 10 p.m. So when we got
It's
up
that-
before 10 p.m.
It's that speaker thing, man. It didn't look that hard to just read those 3 sentences off the screen.
Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know. All right. So that's it for today. For next week, I'm tentatively looking at the 16th sometime, and then probably again later in the week. We've got a few more bills that we need to clear off the dock. We're in discussions about the whistleblower bill, which may come back next week. But nothing, I think, really huge or groundbreaking. And then after that, after crossover, I think the next thing we're going to get to is we're going to catch the departmentals on the biotech and cyber credits and R&D credit and work on those. And
Yeah, I don't like those.
I'd like to prioritize those and get those done relatively quickly after crossover. But to members, if you have any questions about individual bills, feel free to reach out to me. Shoot me a text or
okay, Lukey.
Yeah.
You keep cutting in and out. I don't know if it's your computer or your connection, but half your conversation's lost.
I'm doing it on purpose, Bob, to mess with you.
Is that what it is?
That's when he talks about the tax hikes, Bob. That's when he's like, and then we raise everyone's taxes by $500 million, and we
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Actually, I think what was it last year? It was $4 billion. It was $4 billion. So
Yeah. What's a few billion between friends?
exactly. Anyway, so if you have questions about individual bills, please let me know. And yeah, anything for the good of the order?